إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
طهارة, purification. Islam's continuous emphasis on cleanness and purity is unique. The more you learn about Islam, the more obvious this will become. An example of that is how Allah the Almighty has commanded us to purify ourselves before performing prayer. One might ask, what is the Islamic understanding of purification? In Islam, there are two forms of purification: purification from physical impurity and purification from spiritual impurity. The removal of physical impurities or najasat. Physical impurities, najasa, refer to impure substances that we must avoid. If these impurities happen to come on our bodies or belongings, we are to wash them off. These impurities include urine, feces, and blood. Spiritual impurity. There are two types of spiritual impurity: minor and major spiritual impurity. The act of ablution, wudu, or removal of the minor spiritual impurity. The act of ablution involves the following steps: intention in the heart to purify oneself religiously, saying Bismillah in the name of Allah, rinsing the mouth, swishing water around the mouth, making sure to reach all areas of your mouth, inhaling water into the nostrils and then blowing it out, washing the entire face, from the hairline to below the chin and from ear to ear, washing both hands and arms, including the elbows, wiping the entire head, wiping both ears, washing both feet up to the ankles. When do I make ablution, wudu? Ablution is necessary when you intend to perform prayer or engage in circumambulation, tawaf, if your ablution has been previously nullified. Seeing as it is an act of worship, ablution can only be made with clean water. Clean water is water that has not been contaminated by najasa or impurities. Nullifiers of ablution, wudu. Your ablution remains valid unless one of the following events occur: the release of urine, feces, or gas from your backside. Loss of consciousness, like when sleeping. Touching sexual organs with the bare hands or genitals. The act of complete ablution, ghusl, or the removal of the major spiritual impurity. Ghusl is an obligatory bath that you must perform to lift a major impurity. It involves intention, pronouncing Bismillah, washing the entire body with water, ensuring that water reaches every part of the body, swishing water in the mouth, inhaling water into the nostrils and then blowing it out. When is ghusl required? Ghusl is required after sexual intercourse, ejaculation, or the end of menstruation or postpartum bleeding. Rulings of menstruation and postpartum bleeding. Menstruation and postpartum bleeding is the discharge of blood from women during specific periods. This blood is considered impure, and during this time period, women are required to refrain from performing prayer and from fasting. Their husbands are also not allowed to engage in sexual intercourse with them. After the bleeding has stopped, women must perform a full purification bath, ghusl, and then make up any missed days of mandatory fasting. However, they are not required to make up missed prayers.